Hi, I'm Richard Lang, and this is my friend Colin Oliver. And Colin writes poetry, and I've invited Colin to read some of your poems to us and to chat a little bit about the process of writing from who we really are.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, this is a handful of poems, all of which are written from this clarity and are about experiencing the world from this clarity. And the first and the last are about the present moment, about this experience of the present moment. And all of the poems, I hope, have got a kind of immediacy to them, which comes from seeing into clarity. The first one's called Late Afternoon, and it's about posting a letter. Late afternoon. Late afternoon, the rain past. I go out to post a letter. Leaves on the chestnut lift in the wind. Nothing but this moment. My hand lifts. The mouth of the box drips rain. And the next one is using a metaphor to write about how when one is seeing into clarity here, thoughts and feelings are at large in the world. And the idea of thoughts being like bees came to me, and how thoughts and feelings have got a kind of life of their own at large in the world. It's called Thought Bees. If thoughts were bees, who would dare to shut them tight in the hive of the head? He who shatters this hive of pretense with the swift hammer of seeing sees no box, no house, no door to lock. The spell of images is broken, and the swarm breaks out to scatter in the world. The hive of nothingness brings to the world the honey of love, and thought bees, watched by the queen of the eye, roam free.
So that's from your book, Stepping into Brilliant Air.
Yes. And this next one is from Ploughing at Nightfall. It's about going out after a shower and seeing how brilliantly clear the world is. And I think clearer still for being perceived without any screen between myself and what I'm looking at. After rain. After rain, a pure light defines what we are. The glass edge on leaves, the dash of swallows knee-high through the field, or clouds at the brow of the hill, backing off for miles. And the next one, Richard, is from High River. This is a night poem. And again, I've tried to make the poem in the moment with the kind of immediacy of the experience. Night storm. The wind surges where the small apples ride, and the leaves are shingle. Flash and ghost flash pin the sky to hard earth, and the sky rends. In one strange momentary day, the tree is brought to us to be known afresh. we stand as nothing, and are wedded to a blaze of leafed and appled radiance. This hour, a gold stitch in the west frays, and the sky peels to crimson. Rooks flying aslant cry for the roost. The small pates of mayweed glow. We are not strangers this hour to how the world breathes fire. Our dog in hedgerow gloom turns his head to a whistle, lolling the pink flare of his tongue. And I've got one more, Richard,
Brilliant.
and this is a more recent one from a book which I hope will be coming out soon called Saying Goodnight, and it's returning to the theme of the present moment again. It's about a young man who was neglected and abused as a child, and who could find life very difficult and often ran wild with his emotions. And it's also about a billy goat. It's called Jewel. Hurt keeps you a child, will always keep you. I stand at your side in the paddock, a calm hour. You do not flinch or run wild. You fondle the goat, gently wring your sleeve from his mouth. Deep inside the jewel of this moment, bend close to his mischievous eye. Okay, Richard?
Yes, wonderful. And how do these poems come to you? Is there a general way in which they come out of the mystery?
Yes, some poems come fully fledged. They appear, and I just have to write them down with maybe just a few alterations. Sometimes they come after a kind of dreaming process, where my attentiveness to clarity is more kind of soft and feather-like, and the thing emerges. And sometimes working on the poems a little bit like archaeology, in that you have something that is wanting to make an appearance, and you need to take a fine brush and brush away the dust and find out what it is. And the imagination then speaks out of the clarity. Different ways of writing.
And what do you get from writing poetry?
Gosh, that's a good question. First of all, I'm just absolutely involved in finding out what it's about, and discovering a kind of clarity. I've always found that writing has given me a clarity in terms of my thoughts and feelings and the way I'm placed in the world. And that's always been very important. And then when I'm writing, there's very little thought about who I'm going to share it with. I just need to get the thing right, get it right for myself. But then comes the sharing, and that's a lovely thing, to be able to say, this is how I found it. Perhaps this resonates with you.
And did you always want to write poetry?
Well, I started off at school just writing a diary and writing about things that happened in the day. And I found that I could capture things in words. That was the first experience. And so I wrote probably from the time that I could manage a pen and get a sentence together. But I have to say that I found a seriousness in writing when I came to seeing, because it did seem like initially a tool and the tool was giving me a kind of way forward, a way into clarity in terms of thoughts and feelings. Mm.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you, Richard.